Hello, beautiful family. This is a Tuesday transmission. I'm so excited. I've got my drum. And today I'll be sharing some light language with you and also a story about Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. These are two of my guides. And as I've been doing deep quantum hypnosis work and work, I'm uncovering a lot of really cool stories within my own being. These kind of fractals of the Mary Magdalene story. I've also purchased this book, the Sophia Code, and lots of puzzle pieces are coming together. And it's quite fascinating. So I've got lots of videos and lots of stories to tell. And what I want to do with these is normalize the extraordinary. We as priestesses, as light workers, as healers, we have so much spiritual knowledge within us, and then we have our human experience. To normalize the bridge between the two, I think is a really good thing. I feel is a really good thing right now. And we need to know the information that's coming through. It's part of our process of awakening. What I wanted to say about that today is really give you this story. And this is a story that came through quantum hypnosis, and it's what I saw, what I actually saw with my own eyes as I was taken deep into hypnosis. And there will be many videos because there were many stories. This one is really cool. So I was taken into a palace. It was a temple, a sacred temple. And inside that sacred temple, it was all blue, the color blue. It's like marble and crystals. And within that sacred temple, there were priestesses doing circle work. And I saw very clearly 13. And those 13 priestesses, I was one of them in this experience, Mary Magdalene. And I saw Mother Mary as the High Priestess of our coven. There were 13 priestesses there. And what I saw within this experience was that we were doing the work of Isis. Now, before any of this, had never read the Sophia Code. I had never read any of the manuscripts of Mary Magdalene. I just saw these things. And then what happened was, after a lot of the material, a lot of the books, a lot of things came into my experience to verify a lot of what I actually saw, which was very, very cool to have happen. So my work inside the Sophia Code, what I recognized, and I said this in the last video, is that my lineage is the Hathor lineage. And I told the story of how I came to know that and how it was confirmed by this book. And my own experience in receiving light language and confirming that that language was actually from this lineage, this Hathor lineage. Now, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Isis are all of the Hathor lineage, the star lineage. Now, in my experience of seeing these 13 women work, had such a pure and innocent and beautiful and unconditionally loving presence. It was like she could create anything. She was like the current of manifestation. Then I got to this book, the Sophia Code, and it talks about actually what Mother Mary did in this book as a Hathor High Priestess. Mother Mary was an ordained oracle, and she was a High Priestess of that lineage. She was a incarnation, and she could use her voice as the omniscient creator of quantum reality by activating the throat chakra as an alchemical technology of sound vibration, right? So essentially, she was masterful and trained in the high art of manifestation, of the high art. And this is coming from the Egyptian, Kabbalist, and yogic mystical lineages. Her communication was so pure in its physical expression that the language, it was like every single word, every spoken word was articulated to manifest in the most utmost care, like really, really uttering any of incantation. Students were trained to identify the meaning of every root syllable of every word. They were very cautious about what they were saying. So the power of the word. Now, it says that was really her legacy, was the manifestation. What I saw within this story of the temple work that they were doing was they were using sacred geometry, they were using the Merkaba, and the energy that was within that to create, to manifest. And it was done for healing. It was done for the entire, kingdom of people, so that they could create what it was that their purpose was, to bring the light, the source light, down to earth and to create miracles, to literally create healing miracles. And it was just such a powerful energy. I can still see it, feel it, and how pure Mother Mary was. How pure Mother Mary was. That particular story, I was being trained as Mary Magdalene. I was being trained by Mother Mary. It says here, and what's so cool about this story is that when I first came into light language, I was told by a teacher that the light language that I speak is of the blue ray sisters, the blue ray. In this book, it says, the wavelength of light emitted from the throat chakra, so that royal blue, spiritually, the royal blue ray, represents the divine will for creative expression, clear communication, aligned leadership, self-mastery, revealing truth, and freedom of speech. And when I read that, that is so much of what I try to stand for: creative expression, clearly communicating, aligning myself with leadership, with mastery of the self, so that I can reveal my voice, reveal my truth. And so it also says here that the temple gateway for the alchemical vrittis of manifestation, this area, these sound waves are so potent. Now, there's so many stories that I could tell, but I think with this video particularly, I will just say that there will be many videos about Mary Magdalene's life, because I saw her life lived with Yeshua. As many of you know, my son's name is Yeshua. That was given to me by... We'll tell that story another time as well. But a lot of dots are being connected, and it's really beautiful because there are many women around this planet that are having these fractalized experiences where they're having the transmissions of these lifetimes of these ascended masters coming to them for the teachings that we are here to expose and to tell, because there's so much wisdom within them. What is so powerful about the book, the Sophia Code, is it also explains that all of these women, they were human beings living their life until they mastered what they were here to master. And then eventually they mastered that thing and became ascended masters. And that's what we're doing, right? The yogic path, the healing path, the path of self-mastery, self-actualization is the path of learning yourself until you really become the source of light and God, and then you're mastering certain aspects of the divine. We all become ascended masters, when we master. And that's the good news, right? So today, I think I'll leave the story there, because it goes so deep, and there's so many intertwinings and so many stories to tell. And do a little transmission. And I won't say little, it'll be a powerful transmission. And I'm actually not going to use my drum today. I'm just going to sing what comes through, and we're accessing the voices, Magdalene, and the voice of Mother Mary as the Syrian High Council as the Hathor. Oh, and one thing I also wanted to share really quickly, this is really cool too, is this phrase from the Sophia Code as well. Hathor's mystery schools were also instrumental in translating and recording light languages. That became foundational for written communication between dimensional realities and for speaking with those from other star systems. An interstellar spiritual movement swept Hathor's known world for a time. Large populations of humanity were in a conscious diplomatic dialogue with other star nations. So this lineage of light language goes back so far to communicate not only with our own system, for heart healing, for DNA activation, for soul, literally retrieval, but also to communicate with other star systems. So, let's tune in, getting grounded, so we can receive the transmission. I know you. Inoi anai koya nai de onai o. Yanai o yanai o. Yenai kunyari ayano Uyanari sturiana Yoe koyane o yana Iuni Tiaku yanai Yonoya yone Ukuyamaya Ture haya ture akanoina O medicina ya Ihai oriaya O iurikayam Hey yo ne yo ya ho hai ana yo kayano re hai yang kande stu ya ni ya o shu Neia hiano hayano kuya receiving that beautiful, beautiful transmission today. Thank you for receiving it. Thank you for listening. I'm so grateful that we have Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene as guides and angels that are supporting this path of awakening and ascension at such a deep, deep level. Really letting us come into our gifts in our voice and clarity and authentic truth and power. Letting us be free to be who we are. So powerful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for receiving. And I hope that you received something really deep and beautiful today from that heart transmission. Have a lovely day. Namaste.